morning, everyone. Today we will discuss the composition of muscle part 2. In the previous lecture, we had discussed composition of muscle part 1, where we discussed about the protein content of the muscle. Today we will be dealing with the rest of the components, which is lipids, carbohydrates, non-protein nitrogen, minerals, and vitamins. Please move to the next slide. Okay, so as we had discussed in the previous lecture as well, that muscle is composed of 75% of water and 25% of solids. Now, out of those 25% of solids, 19% is of protein, which we have discussed in the previous lecture, and the rest are lipids, carbohydrates, nitrogenous substances, organic substances, and vitamins. And these are of varying values. Please move to the next slide. So, the next slide, please. Yes, lipids are one of the major components of the carcass of meat animal, and it constitutes about 2.5% of the muscle. But the content of lipid in a muscle is very variable. It varies a lot because the amount of lipids present in a muscle is dependent upon the nutritional plane of the animal, whether the animal is properly nourished or not. If the animal is not nourished, obviously the lipid content of the muscle will be very low. So now lipids are of three types: neutral lipids, phospholipids, and cholesterol. These three types of lipids are found in the muscle. Now the neutral lipids are about 1% of the total solid matter present in muscle. Phospholipids are also 1%, and cholesterol is 0.5%. Now neutral lipids are glycerol esters of straight chain carboxylic acids or triglycerides with small amount of mono and diglycerides. Okay, these are the neutral lipids. Whereas phospholipids, as the name suggests, contains phosphorus as well as lipids, and it is the principal structural and functional component of cell membrane. Whereas cholesterol, although it is a minor component in animal tissue, but it is a very, very important component, and it is basically unesterified esters of free form. Okay, is this clear? That what are neutral lipids, what are phospholipids, and what are cholesterol?
फिर से एक बार रिपीट कर दीजिए.
Okay. So there are basically three types of lipids present in the muscle. One is the neutral lipid, one is the phospholipid, and one is the cholesterol. Now lipids constitute 2.5% of the total solid matter in a muscle. This much is clear? Now, out of that 2.5% solid matter, 1% is of the neutral lipids, 1% is of the phospholipids, and 0.5% is of the cholesterol. Now, what are neutral lipids? Neutral lipids are glycerol esters of straight chain carboxylic acids or triglycerides with small amount of mono and diglycerides. Okay?
Okay.
This is a kind of an example. It is a kind of a definition. Okay, what are neutral lipids? And phospholipid, as the name suggests, these are phosphorus containing lipids which are the principal structure in the cell membrane. Whereas cholesterol is another form of lipid which is an important part of the animal tissue. Now, by the animal tissue, but only 80% of the requirement is manufactured. Rest 20% has to be supplied externally. Okay, and these are basically in an unesterified forms or in free forms. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so moving to the next slide, we'll discuss about the neutral lipids. Now, neutral lipids are the second major components of are the second highly variable components of the muscle, and the neutral lipids are of two types: saturated fatty acids and unsaturated fatty acids. Now, depending upon the chemical structure of the lipids, it is either known as saturated fatty acid or unsaturated fatty acids. Now, saturated fatty acids do not have double bonds between carbon atoms, whereas unsaturated fatty acids contains double bonds between carbon atoms. Now, if there is a single double bond present, then we call the unsaturated fatty acids as monounsaturated fatty acid, that is MUFA. An example of monounsaturated fatty acid is oleic acid. Whereas if the number of double bonds is 2 or more, then the unsaturated fatty acids are known as polyunsaturated fatty acids. Example of polyunsaturated fatty acids are linoleic acid and linolenic acid. Okay, oleic acid is the most prevalent fatty acid in the animal fats, and linolenic acid is present in two forms, that is the alpha form and the gamma form. Okay, and the alpha form is the most prevalent one. Now, oleic acid is manufactured within the body. It is a non-essential fatty acid, but linoleic and linolenic are essential fatty acids. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, moving to the next slide. Now comes the phospholipids. Now, as we had talked earlier, that they play an important role in the cell membrane or cell structure, and they are highly susceptible to oxidation. They are more susceptible to oxidation than triglycerides or lipids, neutral lipids. Okay, so the shelf stability or the flavor of meat, which depends upon the oxidative status of the fatty acids in the meat, that is dependent on the phospholipids. Phospholipids play an important role in determining the shelf stability and flavor of meat. Okay, now because they are highly oxidative in nature, hence it is development for the off color as well as development of rancidity in a particular meat, in a particular meat sample. Okay, now phospholipids which are found in the muscles are phosphoglycerides, phosphatidyl choline, phosphatidyl ethanolamine, phosphatidyl silene, and sphingomyelins. Clear that what are phospholipids? The point you have to remember here is that phospholipids are susceptible to oxidation, and they play a key role in the development of off color and rancidity in a muscle, in a meat sample. Okay, is this clear? Okay.
No, ma'am.
So then
मैम ये जैसे कि ये फॉस्फोलिपिड स्टेबिलिटी प्रोवाइड कर रहा है एंड फ्लेवर भी प्रोवाइड कर रहा है, फिर ये रेंसिडिटी और कलर।
फॉस्फोलिपिड स्टेबिलिटी आप गलत समझे, फॉस्फोलिपिड स्टेबिलिटी प्रोवाइड नहीं कर रहा है। फॉस्फोलिपिड जो है वो बहुत ही इजीली ऑक्सीडेशन उसका हो जाता है, ठीक है, मतलब उसका ऑक्सीडेशन न्यूट्रल लिपिड से भी तेज होता है, इसलिए फॉस्फोलिपिड के ऑक्सीडेशन के स्टेटस के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि जो हमारा प्रोडक्ट है उसका शेल्फ लाइफ कितना है और उसका फ्लेवर कैसा है, ठीक है, क्लियर हुआ?
यस मैम। तो फिर देन ये लाइन मैम की फैक्टर रिस्पांसिबल फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ कलर एंड रेंसिडिटी, इसको थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए।
एग्जैक्टली, क्योंकि सबसे पहले अगर फॉस्फोलिपिड सबसे पहले ऑक्सीडेटिव चेंजेस हैं जिसमें ऑफ कलर डेवलपमेंट और रेंसिडिटी होता है, वो भी फॉस्फोलिपिड्स की वजह से सबसे पहले नजर आएगा, ठीक है। क्योंकि ऑक्सीडेशन होता है इसलिए क्या होता है, कलर मीट का चेंज होता है और उसमें रेंसिडिटी डेवलप हो जाती है, और फॉस्फोलिपिड वो कंपोनेंट है मीट का या मसल का जो सबसे इजीली ऑक्सीडाइज होता है, इसलिए फॉस्फोलिपिड प्लेज एन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल in the development of off color and rancidity. अब समझ में आया?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. किसी और को कोई confusion? Okay. So moving to the next slide, then comes the cholesterol content. Now, cholesterol is an essential dietary compound. Okay, and it is manufactured in the body. But only 80% of the requirement is manufactured. Rest 20% has to be obtained from external sources. Okay. Now, cholesterol is required for hormonal function as well as cell wall integrity. And the amount of cholesterol does not vary much between cooked and uncooked meat. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now moving to the next slide, then comes the carbohydrates. Now carbohydrates, we can say on a thumb rule that approximately 1% of the muscle is carbohydrates constitutes approximately 1% of the total solid substance in a muscle. Now here the catch is, here the important part is that muscle contains carbohydrates, but meat never contains carbohydrates. Okay, is this clear?
मसल्स
अगर
और
कोई
मीट
आपसे
अलग
क्वेश्चन
अलग है
पूछे कि द कार्बोहाइड्रेट कंटेंट ऑफ मीट इज 0, क्योंकि जब ग्लाइकोजन यूटिलाइज हो जाता है, राइगर मोर्टिस होता है, तभी जाके मसल टू मीट कन्वर्जन कंप्लीट होता है. इतना आप सबको क्लियर है? तो मसल में कार्बोहाइड्रेट
ma'am.
मिलता है, मीट में नहीं मिलता है. ये आप लोग हमेशा क्लियर, एकदम क्लियर रखिएगा. ठीक है? सो द रेंज of carbohydrate is 0.5 to 1.5%, but on an average we take it as 1%. And the most common form of carbohydrate in muscle is glycogen. ठीक है? Now it plays an important role in meat properties and appearance. We have read of situations such as DFD, dry, firm and dark meat, and PAC, pale, soft and exudative meat. Now you must be knowing that these conditions apply because of the glycogen content in the muscle. So glycogen or the carbohydrate plays an important role in the appearance and the meat properties. Clear? Okay. So the amount of glycogen and the rate of glycolysis, that determines the color, tenderness and water holding capacity of the meat. Because of the rate of carbohydrate, because of the rate of glycolysis and the amount of glycogen, the pH of the meat is decided. And depending upon the pH of meat or the ultimate pH of meat, color, tenderness and water holding capacity varies. Now is this clear? The role of carbohydrates? Any confusion?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Now please come to the next slide. Non-protein nitrogen. Now what do you understand by non-protein nitrogen? These are those molecules which contain nitrogen but are not proteins, like ATP, creatinine, nucleotides, inosine phosphate. These are molecules which contain nitrogen but are not proteins. And these non-protein nitrogenous substances, they also contribute towards the flavor of meat. This is very simple, no issues, I guess. Okay, so we'll move to the next slide then. Then comes inorganic substances. So as you know, inorganic substances is basically the mineral content of a muscle, and it ranges from 0.5 to 1%. Now, you must have studied in the nutrition classes that ash content, that the mineral content is calculated by calculating the amount of ash present in a particular sample. And how is the ash measured? We take the sample and we burn it completely in a muffle furnace, and then the amount of ash is measured. So that gives us the amount of inorganic substance or minerals present in meat. Now meat contains both major, minor and trace elements. So the amount of potassium, iron and zinc, it varies with the age of animal, but constituents such as copper and sodium, they don't vary with the age of animal. Okay. Now, meat is a good source of iron and zinc. Iron is available in meat in the form of heme, whereas zinc is present in enzymes and hormones. Okay. Is this clear? Inorganic content of meat? Any confusion,
Yes,
anyone?
ma'am. आयरन, जिंक और एक और क्या बोले थे मैम, जो वैरी नहीं करता है एज के साथ?
एज के संग वैरी नहीं करता है पोटेशियम, आयरन एंड जिंक. एंड कॉपर, सोडियम, मैग्नीशियम, ये सब, और कैल्शियम. ये नहीं, आपने क्या पूछा मुझे, मैंने शायद गलत बता दिया. पोटेशियम, आयरन और जिंक ये एज के साथ वैरी करता है.
वैरी करता है.
वैरी करता है. कॉपर, सोडियम, मैग्नीशियम एंड कैल्शियम ये एज के साथ मसल में बहुत ज्यादा वैरी नहीं करता है. बट दीज आर बेस्ड ऑन रिसर्च आर्टिकल्स. these are not textbook material. ठीक है, ये मैंने रिसर्च आर्टिकल्स में पढ़ा है कि ऐसे बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए गए हैं जिसमें ये पाया गया है. ठीक है, okay. Moving to the next slide, we come to the final component, that is vitamins. Now the vitamin content of a muscle varies with the age of animal, and basically two types of vitamins are present in muscles. One is the fat soluble vitamins and another is the water soluble vitamins. Now the fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E and K, we all know that, and it is present in the fatty tissues of the muscles. Whereas water soluble vitamins present in muscle is mostly vitamin B complex. Vitamin C is deficient in muscle. It is present, but it is present in very little quantity, so it is deficient in muscles. Okay, and water soluble vitamins are mostly present in the lean tissues. Okay, now variety meats. Variety meats कौन से होते हैं? Those organs which are considered as a part of meat are known as variety meats. Variety meats are highly are a good source or are rich in vitamin B complex. Okay. Now, depending upon the type, please move to the next slide. Now, depending upon the animal meat, the vitamin B complex amount may vary. Like pork and mutton have high amount of thiamine content, but still pork contains 5 to 10 times higher thiamine than mutton. Okay. Now, most of the vitamins are stable on cooking, but thiamine and vitamin B6 are highly susceptible to heat treatment. Clear? Any confusion in vitamins? Okay. So here we end our presentation. You may stop recording.